Today we're going to show you the correct way to sharpen your axe. You'll want to stick around. Welcome back to Outdoor Skills Made Easy. Today we're going to talk about using your axe in the out of doors. First thing that we'll talk about is safety. Second is how to visually see if your axe is sharp. And third, how to sharpen your axe. When you're transporting your axe, of course, you'll want to keep the sheath across the blade at all times for added safety. But if you're handing it off to someone else or going from one workplace to another, you'll want to carry it with the blade to the outside. And then, as you hand it to one other person, you can hand it from my right hand to their left hand. And he will say, "Thank you," which means, "I've got it," and then I can release the axe. That's a good practice for all kids to learn before you go out into the woods. Another important safety factor is that you have a safe working area, and you generate that by extending your axe handle out. And as you move it around, this is your circle of safety. No one is allowed inside that circle while you're working. We're going to show you how to visually inspect your blade to see if it needs sharpening. If you were to look down the face of this blade, you could tell on this new axe that there are no flat spots, which would indicate that it hit a rock or hit something hard and needs filing out. Here's an axe that clearly has been abused. Not only the blade, but the handle needs replaced. It's not safe for use anymore. And if you look closely at the blade, you can see there are a lot of nicks and flat spots. So I visually know that this needs filing. Finally, my little hatchet that I really like to take with me, more so than either of the axes that I've shown to you. But as I look down the blade, I can see that there are a few flat spots that need attention. When you decide that it's time to sharpen your axe, one of the things that you want to make sure is that you're safe at all times. So always have a pair of leather gloves so that if you do happen to slip off of the blade and catch the blade with your finger, you're not going to get cut. Let's start with the axe blade that needs most of the attention. We're going to brace the axe blade against the log so that we can have some good solid downward strokes with a file and the blade won't move. Let's show you how that's done. Let's go ahead and brace this next to the log. The other end of the handle is braced underneath a log, which will give us some additional support. Today I'm using two different types of mill files. The first one is for rough cut, which will smooth out the heavier divots. The second one is for finer cuts, which will make a sharper edge. When using a mill file, they will cut in one direction, which is down. So you want to cut down, lift the file, and then repeat. And you want to follow the edge across the curve of the blade. Continue to file until the nicks and rough places have been filed smooth. Now let's flip it around and do the other side. You can see that we have a sharpened blade, but this blade has a serious divot because it's been abused. On this old axe, you can see that the blade is salvageable, but the handle is not. So we'll take it home, work it on the grinder, smooth it out, make a nice sharp edge, and then put on a new handle so that we'll have a new axe. And now we'll use the same process with our hatchet. You can clearly see that we're getting a good edge on this hatchet. Now let's turn it around. Now let's visually examine the edge and see how we did. I'm not seeing any more flat spots, but I know that I can work it a little bit more to bring it to a razor sharp finish. With a little time, patience, and practice, you too will be able to master the skill of sharpening your axe. We hope that this has been informative to you and hope that you'll join us again at OSMEtv.